let's be really honest. When someone joins a gym or they sign up for Weight Watchers or a program, a coaching program, 99% of these people want to lose weight. They want to look better. They want to feel better. They want to see something different in the mirror. Are there other reasons that they may have gotten into that said program or system? Maybe they went to the doctor and things are not checking out the way that they should. Maybe they're seeing themselves go down a road that they don't want to see what that trajectory looks like. Yes, then that's definitely a big reason as well. But the fact of the matter is we all want to be comfortable with what we see in the mirror. If you were to ask me, how does the Recalibrate system work? How can I lose weight? I want to explain things on a very simple, understandable, straight to the point as possible. So if you were to come to me right now and say, hey, how does this work? All of the above. I want to break this down into 3 levers that need to be pulled. The 8 pillars of our system, 8 pillars, 8 weeks. The initial first 8 weeks, we have consecutive phases after that. The 8 pillars are cemented in these levers. So lever number 1, got to pull it. This is 80 to 90% of the power, if we were to use that analogy. A calorie deficit needs to be created. In other words, you have to get yourself in a situation to eat less, to consistently eat less, and hopefully eat less in a way where it's not a pain in the butt. We do this with our system through the implementation of our 10 lean habits. These are 10 slept on things that you're probably overlooking and thinking that they're not a big enough deal. They're not powerful enough to drive change, and they absolutely are. They are for all of our clients. Usually simplicity is what truly works for people. And these 10 lean habits allow you to have strategies without the traditional fuss of tracking and counting and all of that stuff that nobody can actually stick to. Another thing, how do we create a calorie deficit as well? Remember, lever number 1, got to do it 80, 90% of the power. We do this through utilizing a powerful, underutilized, underappreciated tool that's truly been around since the beginning of time. What is it? It's fasting. Don't let that word scare you. We utilize something called flexible fasting, which can be different for everybody. There's no one size fits all approach. It's based on you and what you're comfortable with. And truth be told, it's not that scary. Anybody can do it. If you can go 12 hours without consuming something, 7 p.m. to 7 a.m., you just fasted. Not that big of a deal. So we build on this, and it's very powerful. Like I said, it's something that is not utilized enough, and it's been around since the beginning of time. That's one of our 8 pillars, so spoiler alert there. So there's many other things that I can shove underneath this lever that we do within our Recalibrate system, but we're gonna move on for the sake of this video. Okay, the second lever that has to be pulled, this is probably 10 to 20% of the power. You need to figure out a way to move more than you already do right now. Figure out something that you can tolerate and enjoy and build a habit on that will get you moving. So this lever is also, of course, accounted for in our Recalibrate system. We really highlight the best forms of training here that is sustainable. It's proven to work for both men and women and actually really changes your body composition. And one of the things that we really harp on is another slept on form of exercise that anyone on the planet can truly do. 99.9% of people, at least in some form or some fashion, you're doing it on a daily basis, but we're going to get you to do more of it, and you're going to see the power of something so small and getting really good at it will do for you, combined with our other form of training that we really prefer. So the last lever you need to pull, I want you to think of this a little bit differently. I want you to think of this lever, the third one, as the main breaker. So if this breaker is not intact, nothing matters. Nothing matters. Lever number 1 won't matter. Lever number 2 won't matter. In many programs, many systems, many situations do not account for this. You could hire a personal trainer and he's going to put you through a great workout. You're going to get everything right during that 1 hour session, 2 to 3 days a week, however long it might be. But after that, there's so many other things that could go wrong in your life and in your routine that washes away that hard work and hard effort that you put in the gym. Lever number 3, the main breaker, is focusing on these key concepts that are built within our Recalibrate system. They're sprinkled in, they're meshed in, they're tied into all of the nutrition and fitness and exercise components. It's a foundational piece. Number 1 is consistency. You're going to learn what true consistency looks like that allows you to bend but don't break. We have a famous saying, anybody can score B's with our system. And if you do that and you get really good at repeating that on a weekly basis, monthly basis, you're going to make so much more progress versus the person that's yo-yoing going 50% to 100%. So learning what consistency is, most people, they drop the ball on that. They either are being overly consistent where they can't sustain it and they burn themselves out, or they're being an under form of consistency where it's not enough. They think they're at like 80, 90, but they're truly at 60 to 70, and it's not enough to produce change. Brings me to the second key concept that we really harp on within our system is sustainability and adherence. They go hand in hand. They're like yin and yang. If you can work on and build habits that you can sustain and they're more realistic for you, then guess what you're going to do? You're going to adhere to them, meaning you're going to actually do them. Example, if I told you to count calories, macros, weigh food, track all of that right now, I think anybody can probably do that for a week. There's definitely individuals out there that do that and love that and like that's their thing, no problem. But most people watching this, they can't sustain that for a longer given period of time. So there's not going to be any adherence to it. They won't be able to follow it and get good at that skill long enough to see it's run its course. Another key concept that we build into this third lever is resiliency. In other words, simply put, not spending a bunch of time on this, is getting through the tough days and doing the things that you know you should do, and not letting your feelings and your current life situation hold you back from getting it done. So in our system, we a lot of just real conversational talks like this, analogies and things like that, just to kind of get you through those tough days. We've had many of our clients reach out to us, and one of their favorite things is just looking forward to receiving something from us on a daily basis. Sometimes it's strictly motivational, discipline, things of that nature. It's like it gets you off the couch, pushes you along, and gets you through that day, and you feel so good when you do. Another key concept, sustainable discipline. So in other words, how can I be disciplined in all the areas of my life, but it's at a level that's not too aggressive, again, to produce that burnout. So figuring out what that looks like for you is also going to be different. Someone might be watching this and they're like, no, you just got to do it. You just got to do it hardcore. There's a time and place for that. I'm like one of those types of people too. But one person may be gung-ho and they're trying to do 4 or 5 miles a day, the weight room 6-7 days a week. They've got it together, they're disciplined. That doesn't mean that approach doesn't mean that is realistic for another individual. So figuring out what is sustainable discipline for you and what you can keep up with on a weekly basis is another key concept that we push into our whole Recalibrate system, all 5 phases that we have. Last one, education. So big big key difference between what we get with our system versus anything else out there, versus me telling you what to do without providing, the rhyme or reason, the method to the madness, if you will, behind it. Are you truly learning? Are you learning enough to where you're going to be able to replicate that and do that all the time? We want to turn the students more or less into teachers or educators themselves of the content that we give out. I have no doubt that in the first 8 weeks, our clients, if they've soaked in the content that they're supposed to, they've learned more about one, how easy this could have been all along, but they learned more about health and nutrition, what that kind of truly actually means, than they ever have in their whole life. Think about what you actually knew about health and nutrition when you graduated high school. Did you know a lot? Did you retain a lot? There's many adults walking out there and we don't really know. It's something that's been dropped the ball on. We want to provide you that education within our system so you can navigate yourself through the complex nature that we have right now of the health and fitness industry. So, recapping, why does this work? And this is a conversation I've had with several clients that have reached out, or potential clients that eventually become clients, is it's three levers, okay? Got to create the calorie deficit somehow, some way. Can't get around that, unfortunately. That's the biggest driver, 80 to 90%. Lever number 2, okay, 10 to 20%. Got to move more. Simply put, find something that you enjoy, stick with that, get good at that, and then build off of that. Lever number 3, the main breaker. The other two do not matter. You got to get the consistency there. Sustainable approach. You got to be able to adhere to it. Resiliency and discipline. Got to stay sharp up top on those tough days. And you want to learn. You want to learn because the more that you learn, the more that you believe, and the more that you believe, the more that you're going to actually implement. So reach out to us if you guys have any questions. If you found this helpful, we'd love some feedback and to hear from you.